special spooky Halloween Wiki Wednesday today, since Halloween is in a few days, and we'll be talking about werewolves. I know what a wolf is, since dogs are descended from them, but I don't know about werewolves at all. Apparently they're either wolves that turn into people, or people who turn into wolves. Let's learn more. If we do it together, it won't be as scary. The link for the Wikipedia article is in the description below. Werewolf facts. In folklore, a werewolf is a human with the ability to shapeshift into a wolf, either purposefully or after being placed under a curse or affliction, such as the bite or scratch from another werewolf, with the transformations occurring on the night of a full moon. I know I'm not a werewolf. I accidentally nipped my mommy and daddy lots when I was learning to control my bite. They are still humans. The werewolf is a widespread concept in European folklore, existing in many variants, which are related by a common development of a Christian interpretation of underlying European folklore developed during the medieval period. From the early modern period, werewolf beliefs also spread to the New World with colonialism. The persecution of werewolves and the associated folklore is an integral part of the witch hunt phenomenon, although a small one. Accusations of lycanthropy being involved in only a small fraction of witchcraft trials. During the early period, accusations of lycanthropy, or transformation into a wolf, were mixed with accusations of wolf riding or wolf charming. Witch hunts are mean. They are just an excuse to be mean to people who are different. People should be like puppies and be friends with everyone. The werewolf became of interest in folklore studies and in the emerging Gothic horror genre. Werewolf fiction as a genre has pre-modern precedents in medieval romances and developed in the 18th century out of the semi-fictional chapbook tradition. The trappings of horror literature in the 20th century became part of the horror and fantasy genre of modern popular culture. Werewolf fiction. Most modern fiction describes werewolves as vulnerable to silver weapons and highly resistant to other injuries. This feature appears in German folklore of the 19th century. The claim that the beast of Gévaudan, an 18th century wolf or wolf-like creature, was shot by a silver bullet appears to have been introduced by novelists retelling the story from 1935 onwards and not in earlier versions. English folklore, prior to 1865, showed shapeshifters to be vulnerable to silver. I wonder why they chose silver. I think silver things are pretty. They always catch my eye, and I try to explore them with my mouth. This makes Daddy pull them out of my mouth so I don't choke on them. Once I even got Mommy's silver earring off her ear without her realizing it. That scared her a little, and she hasn't worn earrings since. The first feature film to use an anthropomorphic werewolf was Werewolf of London in 1935. The main werewolf of this film is a dapper London scientist who retains some of his style and most of his human features after his transformation. I object to this. I can look quite dapper as a puppy. Haven't you seen me all dressed up on my Instagram page? Universal Studios drew on a Balkan tale of a plant associated with lycanthropy, as there was no literary work to draw upon, unlike the case with vampires. There is no reference to silver, nor other aspects of werewolf lore. Sympathetic portrayals are few but notable, such as the comedic but tortured protagonist David Naughton in An American Werewolf in London, and a less anguished and more confident and charismatic Jack Nicholson in the 1994 film Wolf. Over time, the depiction of werewolves has gone from fully malevolent to even heroic creatures, such as in the Underworld and Twilight series, as well as various other movies, anime, manga, and comic books. Mommy, isn't Twilight about sparkly vampires, not werewolves? She says it's about both. Werewolves are often depicted as immune to damage caused by ordinary weapons, being vulnerable only to silver objects, such as silver-tipped cane, bullet, or blade. This attribute was first adopted cinematically in The Wolfman. This negative reaction to silver is sometimes so strong that the mere touch of the metal on a werewolf's skin will cause burns. Ouch! Current-day werewolf fiction almost exclusively involves lycanthropy either being a hereditary condition or being transmitted like an infectious disease by the bite of another werewolf. Daddy says he thinks this might be related to the real disease rabies, but he doesn't really know. But I wasn't allowed to play with other puppies until I got my rabies vaccine. In some fiction, the power of the werewolf extends to human form, such as invulnerability to conventional injury due to their healing factor, superhuman speed and strength, and falling on their feet from high falls. All of that doesn't sound so bad. I wish my parents were fast enough to keep up with me. Also, aggressiveness and animalistic urges may be intensified and more difficult to control. Okay, that's the bad part. Usually in these cases, the abilities are diminished in human form. In other fiction, it can be cured by medicine men or antidotes. Along with the vulnerability to the silver bullet, the full moon being the cause of the transformation only became part of the depiction of werewolves on a widespread basis in the 20th century. I read all of that, and I still am not sure if werewolves are people who turn into wolves or wolves who turn into people. Maybe it's both. I'm glad my people aren't werewolves, but if they were puppies, that might be okay. We could romp and play together. But they do their best even as humans. That's all for our special Halloween Wiki Wednesday. Come back on Friday for the next part of Lad, a Dog, and stay tuned on Monday for the most specialist Music Monday song ever. Thanks for learning with me today. Bye!